Okay, so to basically sum this whole video up in one sentence, decide who you want to be, decide what type of person you want to be, and take the necessary actions to make that visualized self a reality, to make it real. Now, in deciding who we want to be, we look to who we admire, the people we admire, the people we respect, the people maybe we try and imitate and act like them. We have to look to these people we admire and we respect and see what it is about them that we admire and that we respect. And then when you understand who you admire and what about them you admire, then it's easy to flip it the other way and go, so what's the opposite of those things? What's the opposite of discipline? Just a lack of discipline, being careless, doing whatever you want, whenever you want. What is the opposite of being purposeful? Feeling lost, having no direction, and just, acting on impulse, doing whatever you want all the time. So when you identify what you admire and the traits you admire, it's easy to understand what you don't admire and what you don't respect and what you almost look at with disgust. So then when you understand these two different sides of the coin of what you admire and what you don't admire, what you don't like, it becomes easy to identify what you should be doing. Because we don't just admire things and respect things for nothing. It's our subconscious craving to embody that in ourselves and craving to be that way for ourselves. So when you see someone you admire and you identify what it is about them you admire, it becomes easy to know what you should be taking action on. But I feel with what I do admire, it's a lot of it is about what not to do. So I know I'm not going to be drinking because it doesn't align with what I admire and the traits I admire in people. So not to be drinking, not to be doing drugs, not to be disrespectful. Just these things of what not to do, because they actively go against what I admire and the person I want to be. I cannot tell you who you want to be. That's for you to ask yourself the question and analyse and reflect on it and think, who do I want to be? Who do you want to be? And when you ask yourself that question, you should then look to, okay, who do I admire? I can say one person I admire is UFC champion Ilia Topuria. When I look at him and I see a man who's in fantastic physical condition, who turns up dressed, classy and smartly. He talks about his faith openly. He has a clear mission and a clear purpose and a clear goal to his life. So I see all these different things and I admire that, and I would like to embody those traits and embody the type of person he presents himself as in my own life. So when I understand that and when I understand the type of person I want to be, then it becomes easy and it becomes clear what not to do and what to do, what actions to take. So when you go through this, when you ask yourself firstly, okay, who do I want to be? And then the answer to that question will lie in who you admire. So you ask yourself, who do I want to be? And then look around at what traits you admire and what people you admire in your life. And when you see that and you see the traits that they embody, then you can think, okay, now these are the actions I need to take to become that person, to make this visualized self a reality and to live it as that person, to embody those traits myself. Now, this isn't a change that comes overnight, obviously, but you could be an overweight person who's been addicted to a vape, and you could decide you don't want to be this way anymore, and you can decide you want to be this type of person. You want to be a disciplined man who turns up looking in shape and who turns up dressed very smartly. You're respectful, you hold eye contact, you shake people's hand, You present yourself in a nice way physically and personally, in the way you act, the way you speak to others, in the way you carry yourself. So you can understand all this and you can slowly decide to change it. You can slowly decide to embody the traits of this person you wish to be. And to be this person that you wish to be, and to live the life they live, and to also represent what they represent, you must take action. And you must take the necessary actions. When you identify the person you want to be, those actions become clear. So you will know what actions you need to take. And then it's just about taking the actions and not getting discouraged by, slow progress, not getting discouraged by that, not getting discouraged by thinking you're not making any progress, or doubting yourself, or thinking, is it even worth it? Because this pursuit of becoming this person we want to be and becoming better, it's not overnight, and it also is never ending. So let's say this person that you admire, if they slowly stop doing all those things and stop training hard, stop dressing smartly, stopped being respectful, started being arrogant and aggressive to people, getting in people's faces, being disrespectful, if they started doing all these things and stopped doing all the things that made them that person, they wouldn't be that person anymore. They would be a totally different person that you probably wouldn't admire. So when you look at it like that, the path is never ending. You can have this visualized self of who you want to be, and you start to take action to make that a reality and to become that person and to embody the traits of that person in real life. You can start on this path, but the path is never ending. We have to continue on the path. Now, saying that the path is never ending and there's never a real end point and we have to continue on, it might seem like a daunting thing or a scary thing, or it might even make you feel like, well, what's the point? But that is the point, because we have to carry on. It's never ending. The path becomes a lifestyle. It doesn't become a diet or a quick fix, a quick routine, an 8-week routine. It's not that. It's a lifestyle. These actions that you decide to take, they become your new lifestyle. They become just what you do. Because to become this new person, to become this ideal version of yourself that you would visualize and wish to be, it's not just a quick routine. It's not just an 8-week stretch, a 12-week stretch. It's a lifestyle. It's forever. So that's the beauty of the path. It's never ending. And in the path being never ending, that's what gives us the purpose, because we constantly feel like we are going after this end goal. We are going after this ideal self. It gives us a clear purpose because we have clear actions we must take. To avoid repeating myself over and over again, I'm going to just end the video now and leave it with that. Decide who you want to be and take the necessary actions to make this visualized version of yourself become a reality, become real. And when you ask yourself that question, who do I want to be? You will then look to who you admire and what traits you admire. And then when you understand what traits you admire, it's easy. It becomes easy to know what actions you should take. These traits, when you think of these traits, the actions will become so clear. These traits show you the actions you must take. So, like I said, I'm gonna leave it with that. Decide who you want to be, and take the necessary actions to make this visualized self a reality. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next video.